I feel really bad right now, but oh, here we go.
We're live. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry,
bad.
Jared. Hey, guys, we're back for part 2 of Bourbon Broncos and OBS. The show was just so good that we wanted to do a second one. So
yeah, that's it. The old show only starts when I get here. When I saw you guys were already going, I decided like, hey, like we got to start the show over. That's how that worked out. 100%, David. That's those are facts. It's on record now.
No, you're absolutely right. You couldn't have.
Damn it, Sean!
Shut it. Yeah, Sean sniffed that right out.
Yeah, no, that was not hard to sniff out. That 100%. This is what happens when you give me power.
Well, I thought it was me right at the beginning, but so really quickly, now that Jared's here, I've been saving this for the whole show because I thought it was just a funny conversation. I don't know if anybody saw the post-game press conference, but they did ask Coach Payton if he knew what scoregami was, and he was like, "Score what? Gamma what? Like, are we talking? What's going on?" And they said, "Hey, the game ended in a scoregami. It's never happened before. This is the second time this season that the game has ended in a scoregami." And he goes, "Second one? What's the other one? Miami."
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Just wanted to let you know, Jared, it's the second time this season that. No, I have a goal to mention at least once a show just for Jared.
Did we play Miami this year? I don't feel like.
Oh, they played someone in Broncos uniforms, but it wasn't. I don't know who it was, but
I think you got to just let it go. I think you've got to you can't let the Dolphins game hurt you anymore.
It's gonna hurt me for a long time, David, and I don't appreciate you just wanting me to like let live. I feel like it's just gonna be something that's gonna hurt me for a long time until we play Miami again. I am going to be hurt.
Release.
That's fair. That's fair.
Release.
Well, hey, Jared, let's give you a chance here to quickly talk about what you saw in the Browns game, but then also what you're looking for in the Texans game as well.
Yeah, I mean, you probably already mentioned all of it. I just wanted to jump on and say hi to everybody. Really, like, obviously a full game from the Broncos against the Browns, which was awesome. Little front, like our hitting. I think I mentioned it in our chat, and I think we've talked about it multiple times. You probably already mentioned it. Like, we are definitely leading with our head a little bit too much on the defensive side. But ultimately, our turnovers aren't coming off of big, like, pressures, bad throws, like we're getting picks. Our turnovers are coming off of strips. They're coming off of plays that you don't think are going to be turnovers, and they turn into turnovers. So love that from our defense. Love that our defense is trying the best to do those things. Our offense is finally starting to click, driving the ball down the field. Obviously, we're not going to score on every play. However, I definitely see from that Browns game specifically against a very good pass rush, I see our offense working up. Like I see our offense doing the things that we've been asking them to do for the while, and we're getting in the end zone, and the rush from Russell shows it. So I'll take that all day. And I want to see obviously the same thing against the Texans. Again, good defense, a good offense with the rookie quarterback and rookie wide receiver, and Tank Dell they're just playing amazing. And there's not a lot you could do to it except for maybe put Pat Surtain on Dell and try to get pressure on this rookie. But other than that, like, there's a lot of teams that have tried to do a lot of things against them, and it's not worked. So I'm interested to see what we can dial up in this game.
So go around the horn here. Jared, you first. Do you have confidence in Vance Joseph to game plan well against the Texans?
I not only have confidence in Vance Joseph, but I think all of Broncos country, including us here at Bourbon Broncos and OBS and Orange Weekly, owe that man an apology.
I already said it. I already did.
And Sean, like, he obviously held on to him for a reason. He saw the good in him and things. And it's been working out, and I love every second of it. And apologies to Vance Joseph. You're killing it. And I trust that he's going to be able to game plan against the Texans. I do not think it's going to be another low-scoring game. I think our offense is going to need to step up, and they're going to get some big shots on us, not like the last few weeks where we really haven't had like the one big play that's just like, man, if we could take that one play back. They're going to get that one big play, and we need to stop them from doing that. But other than that, like, I do think that I have faith in our defense on this game.
John, what do you Spotty, what do you think, man?
Honestly, I I don't believe the Texans are going to send out anything that we haven't seen or haven't schemed for, right? We're always scheming for Pat Mahomes, who is the forever creator of the football. CJ Stroud has shown that he has that a little bit of ability. The Josh Allen, throwing the ball downfield. I still think the weapons that Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes are on another tier than Tank Dell. Don't get me wrong. The kid is really good. The Nico Collins is really good. They're just not the, I'm going to drop my wide receiver to pick these guys up immediately kind of players. So with that being said, and of course with the Dolphins, we've seen a lot. We've seen this, and I believe that we have the right scheme and we've had the right framework for the last 5 weeks to put a stop to it and force them into situations that they're uncomfortable with. Even with the Texans, the last couple of games that they played, they actually haven't seen a true secondary like this. They only scored 21 points on the Jaguars. I know I say only 21 points, but Jaguars currently have one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. And I definitely wouldn't say that anywhere near about ours. So we're going to definitely make CJ work for it. And if we can force him into those turnovers, if we can force him into another one of those crazy games, the Broncos should have a relatively easy time with them.
Look for McMillian, man. I think McMillian's going to get one.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I think if the over/under on turnovers in this game is 1.5, I'm taking the over. I think Vance Joseph will have a good plan going into this game. I think that it is, we've seen CJ Stroud be really, really good for so long in this season, but he's had plenty of rookie moments too. He is not the infallible quarterback yet, and I think it's going to come down to, honestly, how well do we execute on offense? Because I think if we execute on offense as well or better than we did against the Browns, we run away with this game. Honestly, I think it's going to the scoreboard might end up looking very similar to that game. Maybe I'm too confident. Maybe we're all over our skis here, Broncos country. We're one game over 500 and we're talking about demolishing the Texans on the road, right? But I feel I like the matchup. Honestly, I like the matchup for the Broncos this week.
Yeah, we're back. We're getting close to the end of the show, guys. So make sure we share the video. If you don't mind, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube page. Definitely check it out for all our daily content. Got some more new videos up from today. If you either decided not to go to the game because it was cold, or you missed it just for any of the number of other legitimate reasons, make sure you go check out the YouTube page there. I got some video from the game you guys can check out. Pretty cool stuff. So, man, it's tough because I feel you, David. I don't want to be too confident, but I hear the way the Broncos are talking, and I see their performance week in and week out now, and it's tough to be anything other than confident. And I think there's a difference between confident and cocky. The Broncos aren't playing cocky. They're not like the Chiefs that go in the huddle and do the little merry-go-round, like, oh, look at us. They're not doing that crap, right? They're going out there and they're executing well. They're respecting the teams they're playing. They're not playing down to anyone. They're in fact getting better each week, right? So as long as we don't play down, we go, oh, the Texans don't have as big a run game, so we don't have to worry about that as much, whatever. As long as we don't overlook something like that and we go out there and play confident like we have been, I feel good. And again, in that case, 9 times out of 10, we should beat this team.
Yeah. I'll say this one more thing is they're finally playing for each other. They're not playing for themselves. They're not playing for whatever. They're actually playing for each other. And that's what a winning football team does. And five in a row. Like I got to say, I know you probably said it multiple times in the show, but like, man, 5 in a row. Let's go.
It's a record. It's historic. We're one of 5 teams since 1966. That's a long time ago. Okay, guys.
See, and that's why, I think you hear the team talk so much about just with that confidence, because they've already done that, right? And then you hear the stat that like 3 teams in NFL history have gone 1-5 and made the playoffs. But they've already done the thing that only 5 other teams have done in NFL history before. They already did it.
Yep.
Yeah. So then,
I bet you we're the first team. I don't know the stats because, I'm not a stat chaser, but I bet you we're the first team to get beat by, get 70 points put on us and then go 5 in a row and possibly make the playoffs.
I would guarantee that. I would guarantee
almost certainly
that's the case.
Almost certain we're the first one on that.
Yes.
If I was a betting man.
Yeah. And Facebook user, you should, you should be listening to the pregame podcast, which posts every Thursday, Friday, or Saturday during the week. Check that out because we've been predicting wins for a few weeks in the row.
We have been.
And spoiler alert, I think everybody on the podcast is going to be predicting a win again this week. Let's see. I don't know. Got to listen to find out.
Absolutely.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there everywhere. You can't get away from us.
You know what's crazy? And I just want to
so many things
about the Dolphins. Okay. Because of that one singular game, the Broncos are still ranked as the 26th ranked defense in the NFL. Okay. Mm-hmm. But the last 5 weeks, we're the number 2 defense in the whole entire league.
Yeah.
So take that game away. Take the first 4 or 5 games. I mean, they're part of the season, but that's the turnaround, and that's where it's like, forget about the first half of the season. This is who we are now. We are not a 1-5 team. We're not a losing record team. We're not a laughing stock of the NFL. We're not the donkeys anymore. We are the mother Broncos, and we are here, and we are gonna freaking annihilate you if you're not careful. That's who we are, and that's what we've been dying to see. And that's why it's just so exciting to be a part of this right now and everything. Ayla, what's up, Ayla? How you doing? Good to
Ayla.
see you. We've
Miss
talked
you,
multiple
Ayla.
times tonight about the team is
Gelling.
finally gelling.
The team's gelling.
We said
absolutely.
it multiple times tonight.
We said it. Yeah. Go back, Ayla. Go back and watch. We said it.
In the part 1 of the show.
It was there.
Yes.
Anyway, fellas, any final thoughts? Did we do them already?
I think it's time to go around the horn. Before we do, again, check out all of our other content, guys. It's going to be a tough 3-game road stretch for the Broncos. We're looking for them to go 2-1, ideally. Well, ideally 3-0, but look, 2-1. If they can go back to Mile High on Christmas Eve against the Patriots, with that record there, we're going to be feeling pretty damn good about ourselves. It's just, who's the next team up? We'll worry about that team. We'll take care of business and see what they can do. But I'm excited to see. And, if we drop a game, this is a team that can bounce back. This is a team that's going to look at and be like, we've been through worse. We got this. Yep. We've hit rock bottom. This is nothing like that. We got this, guys. Let's go out there and remind the NFL who we are. So, David, let's start with you, man. Closing thoughts, buddy. What you got?
I'm almost ready to move past the think of the good times as the good times when you're in them phase. I'm really almost ready to think of what might be. Yeah. It's that right. I know we've come a long way with the optimism when we've talked about it, guys, but I think I'm ready. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, believe. All right. Yeah, all right. So the bottom line is you've seen this progression with the team, right? First they had to lose big, then they had to lose small, then they started to win small. Now they're starting to win a little bigger, and it makes you start to just think, yeah, he's right. He's so right. I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm ready to believe.
But I don't think you're gonna get hurt again for a long time.
It could be different, guys. I think it's different this time. I think Sean Payton is here to take the pain away.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about who's their head coach going to be in the next 1 to 2 years. We don't have to worry about who's their quarterback going to be next year. Are we going to have to get rid of Russell Wilson and what that's going to look like, right? Yes, David is, as always, very poetic. And
very poetic.
Say it better myself. So, Spotty, what you got, man?
It's easy to take the way that I act and I talk about the Broncos because as okay, he's letting it go. He's not in full faith, but at this point, we're really in that crucial time. Like every time that we say that each week really matters, that's because it does. As a team that sits where we're at right now and the cluster that is the AFC playoff picture right now, every single game, every matchup, and they matter. And we know that these next 3 games, as much as the last 3 games, matter almost even more. If we can pull out the win against this competition, everybody's saying, oh, look at the Lions, or ESPN's like, oh, look at the Chargers for whatever reason. Okay, if we can be different, instead of dropping 1-1 against the Chargers, the Broncos take 2 against Chargers, they can really change everything. But we know it's going to start next week. We know that people might see this. If the Broncos take this one from Houston in Houston, some of these teams are going to be looking around and they're going to be like, this isn't the team that we should look past. And I mean, I think was it ESPN and Bleacher Report, all of them, they just ranked 10 or 11 today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or 11. After the Dolphins game, we were 31. That was our NFL ranking, okay?
And deserved it.
Very deserved it.
So much to change this to this point. So it's hard. It's just like I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this next week. I'm like, okay, the Broncos can win this game, and this is going to start us off, and they're going to run into Los Angeles, and their hair is going to be ablaze. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And again, just because if the Broncos win, the stadium, SoFi Stadium, is going to be so orange.
Yeah.
It is going to be so orange. It's going to be insane to hear how loud it is when the Broncos defense is on the field, and how quiet it is when the Broncos offense is on the field. I tell you what, it's going to be huge. And so if anyone has a chance to go to that game, go, because it's basically going to be a home game for the Broncos. Even if this game is a close game, I mean, beating the Chargers, if we can do that twice and do that out there, like that's just huge, because one of the games we are kind of expecting to drop is that game in LA, just because we don't play well out there for some reason. So
it's always weird. The Chargers
enjoy the journey, and you got to enjoy the journey, and but at the same time start looking ahead. Not saying Super Bowl or bust this year, right? But again, this is a team that it's not going to be like, what are the Broncos going to look like this year? What are they going to do? Are they an 8-win team? Are they a 7-win team? It's going to be by how much are we going to win the AFC West? It's going to be, how close are we going to be to the top of the AFC year in and year out? And that's where, as a Broncos fan, we can finally, I think, start to feel all the crap from the last 7 years getting put behind us and saying, this is who we are now. We're back on track. Finally, we can be a dominating force in the NFL. We got the owners behind us, not just with their money, but they're very focused on winning. We got a head coach and a coaching staff that is very competent. We finally have players that are bought into the system. And it's just hard to see any reason to not be excited and get, buy in ourselves with what they're doing. So, Jared, over to you, man.
There's so many things to talk about. David, first of all, you are ready to get hurt, and I'm here for it, and I'm here to hold you if it happens again.
Hold me.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. But this is the first time, David, you brought this up in the chat. This is the first time since Peyton Manning that we have had momentum going into December, right? It's one thing to talk about records. It's the first time since Peyton Manning we've had momentum going in December, and man, does it feel good that we are actually talking about, like, this team is good right now. This isn't one of those, this team is kind of bad. We won some early games and are hoping to hang on to a playoff spot, but this is a good team going into November. We talked about the coaching situation. We finally have a coach that's getting our team together and give him some time to build some pieces around. And I think we're going to have a lot of good things to talk about for Denver Broncos. For those in the questions, I don't know if I'm going to the game. I don't know if I'm going to be on dry land yet. John also asked me the same question. If I'm on dry land, though, I will be going to the game. That's the intent. And I will be the probably Speedo and completely painted up obnoxious Bronco fan just because that's what I do. And but yeah, absolutely. I think regardless of how this Washington or this Houston game goes, Broncos country is going to show up at SoFi Stadium. I don't think it matters what's happening. There's going to be a lot of orange in that stadium, and I am here for it. I'm so stoked for the Broncos, so stoked for everybody, watching the games. Man, it's just a good time to be a Bronco fan.
Oh, let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Normally I say there's nothing else to say here, but I do have one special message for the most obnoxious Browns fan that I've ever dealt with during a game, and that's just woof, 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 jackass. How that Browns game go. Anyway, guys, Broncos are back. We are ready to go. I am ready for the pregame podcast, so make sure you guys all check that out. Follow us on YouTube. Keep coming back for more Broncos content, because just like we have for the past 7 years, we're going to keep pushing it out. So I think with that, there's nothing else to say other than end this as we always do. We're very strong.
Go Broncos.
Take care, everybody.
What I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.